rest in your embrace.
All right, good afternoon, good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone. We're excited to have the second session. You may not be able to see my face, but I'm trying to get in a position where you will be able to, all right? But my face is not the important issue, amen? We're glad to have online Hawaii Y6 2009 Sona Sam. And I'm calling the guests or the visitors as I see them first. Joy Blake Clark, Karen Roberts, Sister Sam, Talisha, and Wentworth Kelly. I also want to thank those of our members for joining. We're looking for more to join in the meantime. We have Kizzy and Sister Bacchus, Sister Kizzy, Brother Dale, Brother and Sister Moodle, Sister Lois, Sister Suzanne, Samuel, and I see another name down here. Elaine is a guest that I don't know the name, so I would accept you as a guest first, but we know that you are related to us by the second blood, the most powerful blood, which is Jesus Christ's blood. Amen. We are all brothers and sisters in Christ. We want us to get engaged for this moment. We know that we will have a special feature today, and that's why we're here with Pastor Wentworth Kelly, who is a media specialist and a cinematographer and a director, right? So I see his name here, so I know he's online and ready and prepared. That's how we know men of God functions, always ready and prepared to do what God calls them to do. And so we welcome each and every one of you on this, our Dunamis virtual site. And I pray that today what is shared will be of great benefit, not only for Dunamis, but for every person who needs that information to move the work of the gospel forward. Because that's our aim, to get the world evangelized for God, and then the end will come. I want to go home, and I know that all of us here wants to go home. Amen? Amen. So without further ado, I want to pray, and then we know Pastor will be on soon. And so he will give a more formal introduction of Pastor Wentworth Kelly. Let us pray. Father in heaven, we just want to thank you for the privilege that you have given to us, that we can even meet on this capacity. We are thankful that even when the pandemic has done a lot of negative, these positives come out where we can meet on a virtual website, not only in a close proximity, but also from various countries, Canada, Jamaica, North America, in the Caribbean. All of us can join and share information as if we were right next to each other. And so we're praising you for that. We're praying, God, that the information that will be dispersed by Wentworth Kelly, that it will be so profound that every heart, even the young person, the child, would be able to understand, and even the elderly would be able to grasp it. And we all will partake in the ministry with a stronger desire to see the work finish and you come to save us all. Bless us to this end. Thank you again for your ministry towards us, and thank you for giving us the privilege to be ministers in your work. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, I see Talisha is having a little problem to join in. All right, I think she's in now. All right, so Pastor, I see you're on. Yeah, I can't get to see my face for some reason, but I'm here.
Okay, absolutely. Happy Sabbath. Greetings, everyone, to the Dunamite family, wherever you're coming from. I'm grateful that Elder indeed made such wonderful introduction. Welcome you so warmly to this glorious place, the place where the power resides, Dunamis SDA Church. And to present to us this afternoon is a friend of my family, my wife and I, and someone who studied with us when we were at NCU together. And of course, someone whose work I've admired, has various experiences in these areas that we'll be addressing today, capturing the moment. And so I will introduce him to you now. A director, cinematographer, Wentworth Kelly has constantly honed his skills in the aerial imagery, cinematography, photography. He always seeks new knowledge and to equip himself to the latest technology and advances in the practice of cinematography. He is also a certified electrical engineer, studio engineer, music producer, musician, with his passion for all these tech things. He happily spends time, and majority of his time, in front of his computer, behind the camera lenses, creating the exceptional quality of visual impetus and stimulus that Icon Media is known for. And of course, is owner, director of Icon Media, an excellent person. I have watched his work in a videography, and of course, he has been so excellent producing video shots and music videos all over. I have watched his work, and we are happy to have him today, and we bless God for him today. So please, Sir Kelly, speak to us here at the Dunamis family.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Pastor. Thank you for that introduction. It's good to see you, and it's good to, be a part of this session, these seminars that we're doing. Thanks for the invite, Pastor. Absolutely. And be a wonderful guy. Reach out to me, and I'm seeing a familiar person here, who was here while last time here. It's good to be with you guys. I'm wondering how to start off. First of all, I don't do presentations where I just talk. I like interaction. I need people to talk to me. I want questions to be asked. I want persons to engage. Yeah, I want everybody to engage in the I realize somebody saying that on mic, I'm having a problem with mic. Let me just check this and make sure that you hear me clearly. I hope this is better. If it is better, just let me know that it's better, please. All right. Yeah. So I don't want it to be a session where we're only talking about me. I'm just talking and talking and talking. I want it to be interactive. I want persons to talk to me, open your mic, talk to me, so that we can, we can all benefit from this. There's stuff that I'm not even thinking about that you might see, and then I can talk about it, or we can all, develop the conversation a little bit. Because the thing is, most persons look at media ministry as just this technical thing. But, I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to start with a question for everybody. What is the purpose of media in the church? What is the purpose of media in the church? I want anybody just answer. Someone make an answer. Anybody? So for years, while growing up in church in Jamaica, and we were not, while waiting for, while growing up in church in Jamaica and even visiting the churches in the States, I realized that, you speak about the communication department. Yeah, that's what it was before. For years, it was a communication, and it was always, first of all, it was always the last department that would be called. So you talk about all the elders, and you talk about all the other positions, the evangelistic ministry, the health ministry, the women, men's ministry, and the last thing the call would be communication. Something changed the last 2 years. I wouldn't say in the last 2 years. All right, let's backtrack a little bit. But over time, persons realize that I would probably need to reach more persons, and if we try and get online, because at one point it was really expensive to stream. It was very expensive to stream services. So even when I was a student at NCU, we had to pay for the streaming service so we could get the church services out. And it was a tidy sum, I have to be honest. But then, with more technology coming up, it became a thing. More persons were getting into it. But outside of streaming, there was also the equipment. But let me fast forward to now. 2 years ago, something unprecedented happened. What happened to our world? You can type it in the box, or you can just say it. I love people to talk back to me. That's what I would really love. I love persons to talk back to me. Something happened.
The great COVID-19.
The great COVID-19 came. COVID-19 came and changed everything. We were used to going to church and we spent the whole day and stuff, and then one day get up and like, first, everybody, the whole place is in lockdown. No church, no school, no nothing. You can't move. You just have to stay home. No. For me, growing up in the church, it was more like, even having a phone or a tablet in church was unheard of. So persons would be like, oh, don't carry this, carry a hardcover Bible, carry the book that you need to see the leaves, and then all of a sudden, everybody's now talking, how do we get to church? How can we still get the gospel out to persons who are watching, who are listening? Corona just really made that a thing, and a lot with that, a lot of churches started looking at this thing seriously. Now the good thing is that social media and streaming media overall had shifted and made everything so accessible. So we had before that we had Facebook. So Facebook was doing live streaming. Then we had YouTube doing live streaming, and there were other live streaming services that everybody was using, even Twitter. Right, and Instagram had live streaming. So at this point now we have all of these mediums. I was paying close attention to a lot of what was happening, paying very close attention, because I'm like, there's a radical shift. And then everybody was saying, oh, we're going to keep on doing this until church open up. And we thought that probably, give it a 6 months, give it a 7 months. 7 months came, nothing's changing. What's going to happen? We ended up having to go through with this for a way longer period. So this now became a staple. So while I was admiring what was happening with, the church making the transition, I was also, was kind of worried because persons felt like we are going back to what happened before. But I tell you this, I'll say this to everybody here, don't expect things to go back the way they were before. This is a whole new world. We are now approaching a whole new world. We are now in a whole new world. I want persons to have that cemented. So I know that sometimes change is a big thing for us, but we have to recognize that the world as we know it has changed. And the only way to survive it is to adapt. And the only way the gospel will move forward is if we make the effort with what's happening now. We make it possible for persons to get the message out. Because the truth is, we have a farther reach. We have a farther reach with the technology that we have now than sitting in church, and that's just the truth. And we have to accept that truth, right? Now, so that's why we are all here, because we have to sharpen our tools to make this, to make media. So where it was now the last thing on the list when we were calling out the offices of the church for years, it is now it's now a priority item on any church nomination board. Now you have to find persons who are actually qualified to get this thing done, because it's a more technical thing, yes, and it is also outside of it being a technical thing, it's also the primary way at this moment, or the main way to get the gospel out, right? Now, one of the things that was happening though is we were having, one of the problems I realized that we were having through and through while watching different church services, I would get calls from different persons to say, what do we need to get? What do we need to get? What do we need to get? So while I could tell you what to get, because that's the thing, because no, the technology also became cheaper. One of the things that happened was that a lot of these companies that made equipment, streaming equipment, started making them more compact, and they made them compact for church. When I spoke to a lot of the persons who worked in these industries that were creating these equipment, they were like, yeah, we have to be creating stuff for church first, because a lot of houses of worship don't have any way to get stuff out. And the thing is, we have to make it smaller so they can afford it, one, and also they can easily integrate it into what they have already. You understand? So that was also a thing. So while we're getting the technical back end in, because cameras were also getting cheaper, the switchers were getting cheaper, computers, there were laptops that were being built just to accommodate streaming. During this last 2 years, all of that has happened. So I hope you're understanding how much that even the industry that caters to these big events, because big events were being held. So they were making, for example, equipment that would cost $20,000. A switcher that now costs $500. $500, let's switch from one camera to the next. It costs $500. If you're supposed to buy that pre-COVID, the only thing you'd find is something that costs upwards of $5,000. So they knew that the worship, the thing is, they see worship as an industry thing, because it's money for them. But they have made provisions for us to make the worship experience, streaming experience, accessible and have it at a high quality. So while they're thinking about it for business, we have to give thanks that, that in His great mercy is allowing them to do that for us. They see it as business, but the thing is, they had to meet us halfway, and that's a good thing. So we had already fixed. So here we have the technical backbone to get the message out. So I'm just kind of this is a preamble to where we're going. The biggest issue that we've had, going into this era is that we know the tech equipment and you can watch it. You watch tutorials and we see how to set this up, how to do this, and do this and that. But what was missing for me was the essence of what you're supposed to feel when you watch a presentation, when you watch a worship session. When I'm a cinematographer, right? I am from broadcasting, but I'm a cinematographer. So I shoot films. I shoot TV commercials, shoot music videos. One of the things about visual medium, about video, the biggest thing is when something comes on the screen, what is it that the person who's watching, what should they feel? So outside of sharing information, what should they feel? When they see an image, how should they feel? So along with Pastor Francis preaching, along with Sister Margaret, sorry, just calling names, I just see them. Sister Margaret looks like a praying lady. When Sister Margaret goes on her knees and pray during service, are the viewers connecting with Sister Margaret's prayer? Is Pastor Francis' words coming across as it should, so it can impact the person who is watching it on their phone, or watching it on their laptop, or watching it on their tablet? That's the thing. That was the main thing that was missing from a lot of these worship videos I was watching. So, we see in churches, yes, there's probably, I was seeing on my feed, probably 50 to 100 different church services going on during COVID. I was like, all right, I'm gonna check out a few. Apart from the established ones, there are a few that were coming up. I was like, there was just something missing there. The point of video is, how can I get this across to let the person feel like they are there? And that's what we have to address. I think that's what we have to talk about now. How do we get what's going on that you're capturing to feel the same way? So if I'm in the church, I'm going to feel this, but I need to know that the person that's at home can feel the same way. When they sit down in a corner, if the Spirit reaches you in church, it should reach the person who's sitting in a corner somewhere watching on their phone. How do we do that? And that's the purpose of capturing the moment, making sure that the message is getting across as it should. Yeah, everybody following? If you don't want to open your mic and say yes, then I want you to just type it in the box. I need to feel like reaching persons and persons are hearing what I'm saying. I'm waiting for some responses. Everybody following? Okay. So the thing is, so in terms of presentation, so I spoke about cinematography, but the thing is, for me, outside of that, I've also done programs for Hope Channel. I've directed multi-cam programs for Hope Channel. I did when I've done stuff when Doug Batchelor was in Jamaica. I've directed a few of his stuff when he was in Jamaica. I've directed stuff for the conferences here and also for the unions here in Jamaica. I've done numerous workshops for conferences and unions here in Jamaica, plus persons within the Caribbean. So what I'm telling you is stuff that I've told our persons. So I want you to be, I've normally done this in sitting down in front of persons and talking. But I need to know that you're following and you're hearing me, because this is important. This is where we are now in our world. We have to get the message out and getting the message out, getting the word out, getting the gospel out is not as simple as turning on the camera and setting it up and switching from one camera to the next. It's about, think of it as telling a story, what's happening throughout the day, what's happening. The opening song, we have the scripture, we have a praise team, we have a prayer, and all of this. While in the presence, there's also music playing and all of that. But we also have to guide the viewers. We have to guide the viewers. So me watching the stream means that if I can't have anything distracting jumping out at me just within the moment, I don't, if the preacher is preaching, I just want to see the preacher speaking. And then if you want to show me something else, like somebody sitting and you see that they're attentive to what the preacher is saying, then we do that. But I would not put both on the screen at the same time. I wouldn't be able to, that would definitely mess with the story I'm trying to tell of the day. You understand? And this is where, I'm sorry with this, that's like, man, this is like, we would have an hour to go through all of this and just talk about it. And there's a bit to cover. You understand? But I'm just trying to touch on all the important things that we have to bear in mind when it comes to church and how we treat showing church to the world. And that's why a lot of people are like, oh, I want to have this experience, and I know I can only get it in church. But I know that if it's captured in a way, then if it's captured in a way where emotion is driven by the emotions and it's treated as a story, like what would I do if I was at church? What would I want to see? If I'm at church, okay, what would I want to see? So as a director, I have 4 different cameras out, and I want to select one. What would I want to see? We're singing Sweet Hour of Prayer. What would I want to see? Okay, somebody announces Sweet Hour of Prayer. We have their shot on screen. We have their shot on screen, Sweet Hour of Prayer. Okay, we're going to sing that before we're going into prayer. Sweet Hour of Prayer. You get the interlude. Okay, we'll be doing Sweet Hour of Prayer. The person's announcer, we get a shot of them. Before it's the announcer, we're going to sing this before we get into prayer. We get that shot. Then the next thing would be, okay, maybe Dale is now playing softly on the keyboard and he's playing interlude to get you into singing the song. Then what we need next, we're about to get a shot of Dale's finger on the piano. Only, let's get his finger on the piano, playing softly, and he's changing the chords and everything and going through. And then just as you're about to go into the song now, we'll probably just fade to somebody in the congregation, like a close up, because a prayerful moment, an emotive moment. No, we need to frame a nice shot of 2 persons or even a single person, a nice, shot of this size, or this, and see them singing. And if they're singing prayerfully where they have their hands on the sleeves, then that'll be such a powerful shot to follow after showing the keys. I don't even need to see who's playing. I just need to see the keys and then the rocks. Nice transition, show the person's face. And then we go to another person singing. And if the person is up there who's going to pray, we can get a shot at the podium, and then we go back again, we change the camera shot, and we see somebody else who's singing, and we catch them singing, and we'll probably cut to another shot of a bigger group of persons who are singing. So you can't find somebody who's not even in tune with the worship. We have to find persons. So that means that whoever is watching, he's like, wow, this is a very soulful moment. And you feel very involved in the moment. No, you're committed to the moment, right? And that's what I'm saying. You have to, so outside of having all this equipment, we have to use it properly. We have to use it properly. Yeah. It's all about timing and feeling. And now, as a director, now you're like, okay, it's coming down, sweet, and you're finishing the song. Then we fade to the person who's praying, maybe on their knees. I will give them a close up. I give them a medium shot from the waist up to the top of their head. I'll probably catch it at the front, because they're praying to you. Catching them from the side would be a creative shot. But if you really want persons to see, because if you're in church, the person's in front of you, you have to treat it like that. You make it interesting. Not a high shot from the ground. You know, that was also another thing for me. I kept on, for a lot of churches, I kept seeing cameras hoisted way up. And I'm like, why are these cameras like bird eye views? That's not how the human brain works. When you watch a movie, when you watch a TV show, and you're like, wow, this is so beautiful. You go to the way and you watch a movie. This is nice. This looks nice. Why does it look so nice? It's simple things like where you put the camera. Where you put the camera is going to determine how powerful the shot will be. So I don't know, putting the cameras way up in the corners or on the side and putting them up. Sometimes you do that for space, but if this is also if this is also the main mode of carrying worship to the masses, then we have to make provisions. We have to make provisions for the gospel to go out. We need to move the benches also over to the side, to the left. We probably need to provide a lot of space in the middle as well to put the camera in the center as opposed to having it in the back and showing down. And this is, I've seen this multiple times. We have to control what goes out. We can control how the worship is seen. You understand? Are you following me right now? You following me, everybody?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So I don't even like the the spotlight mode. I want to see people's faces. I want to see everybody's faces or anything that's you know, to see who's responding. But it's important that we try to tell a story. So if you're the director if you're directing these 4 cameras, it cannot be a case where you're just looking at cameras or switching. You need to be communicating with the camera ops. We need to get radios for you to connect and get some in-ear pieces for the radio so you can talk and say, camera, this is a shot I'm looking for. And then the camera person have to also be intuitive and know that I was sitting at home. How would I want to see it? What would I want to see? When I saw this shot at a concert, I saw a big concert happening. I saw a Kirk Franklin concert happening, and I saw the shots and the worship shots were so beautiful, or a Ty Tribbett shot, or Jonathan McReynolds. And you see these shots and you see these concerts, and you're like, you can get them too. You can get those shots too. We can get that same level of production. And it's not just the equipment. It's just how you see the world. You have to start thinking like an artist. That's what you are. You're not just a camera, somebody switching a camera. You're not somebody with a camera. You have to look at it as an artist. Some artists paint with a brush. Your tool is a camera. Right. For example, when I was a student, at NCU back in the day. When I was a student back in NCU, there are times when I'm like, I'm on the tripod and I'm like, no, something wrong. I don't like all the shot. I take it off the tripod and, you know, Pastor can tell you, because I was probably seeing me walking up and down and I had the camera, because I'm like, that's not a shot. You need to take it off the tripod and get the shot that I want. Not telling that you have to take it off the tripod, but there's so much meaning in understanding your role. It's as important as the person who is speaking on the podium. Your role as a camera operator, your role as a technical director is calling the shots. You understand? It is important that you see yourself as an artist. You can't just see yourself as, oh yeah man, I'm sorry, I forget, I'm dealing with, oh no, you guys should be familiar with Jamaican verbiage and everything, so I'm not going to apologize for that. It can't be a case where it's, oh, well, it's just, we're just going over and shoot on the camera. That's, no big deal. Just do this so places can see. Can't do that. Because other persons will tune in on Friday evening and do sort of like, oh, let me go watch our video with all of these same gospel artists. I would like, oh, let's go watch that video. and you want to watch that video, not only because you could just go listen to music, but you're pulling up the video for a reason. You're pulling it up because of how you feel. You're seeing how the persons are responding to the music, and you are also having that experience. Because worship, praise, preaching, church worship is an experience, and you have to treat it as that, as a person capturing. So they don't show up to church and be like, "Oh, I just captured the camera." No, you look at it like, you believe that the pastor should be an anointing. You believe that the musician should be an anointing, and they are doing what they're doing. You have to do what they're doing. You're not, then if you're not, then all it is just an image that you're sending to persons that has no, it has no life. It has no life. You understand? So you have to see yourself as a part of the worship experience. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I had pointers, but I just felt like I went off on that because I realized that's it. Most persons aren't seeing it as a part of the worship experience. They don't see it as capturing as just capturing the image and showing it so they can do so. But you have to show, you have to let persons feel that they are part of it. And you also need to know that you have a job, you have a responsibility as the person who's calling the shots or the person who is on camera. Whether it's a PTZ camera, there's a camera where you're on a tripod. I think that's probably one of the things. I appreciate PTZ cameras. I love the tech. I think it's beautiful, but I'm also not a very, very, very big fan of it. I'll use it if I have to, especially in a workshop or a conference or those events where it's just information that you're giving. It's fine, but when it comes on to an experience that is so dynamic, it's not ones and zeros. It's analogous. There are moments. There's a high, and then there's a mid, and then there's a low, and it comes to spirit coming, and then it goes up. You need it needs humanity. It needs to feel like there's a human in it. Sometimes PTZs, if you're where angle them could help, but I don't know. I just like them and tripod persons on them because then every shot is deliberate. You understand? The shot are deliberate. It's about feeling the moment. And that's one of the things. Like when I get called, if I get called to direct something, and I'm like, okay, at the end of the day, what do you want the show to do? I want the show to, persons to get into the story and feel like, understand this person more. Because we may have interviewed these persons 10 times. I've seen 10 interview this one person. Okay, cool. So you're not going to be the 11th person interviewing this person. What do you want the world to know about this person? How do you want people to feel? Right. Once I have that information, I'm like, okay. So I'm going to put the camera on the belly. I have one camera over here and one camera over here, and there's one moving camera, and then there's one shot. It's this, and I can layer the shot and put stuff in there. I'm like, okay, we're going to put this in there, we're going to take that out. I'll put this in the shot, take that out. And when it goes out, we're like, okay, it's achieved. You understand? Like they call shoot a commercial. I'm like, okay, what do you want to do? Okay, what do you want persons to feel? It's about soap. Oh, it's a cleanest thing. When you wash with it, it's going to feel nice. You probably don't even need to show the soap at all the way advertising the soap. You watch, the persons I've seen a Geico commercial. It's a Geico commercial. Sometimes you don't know what they're talking about until Geico 15% or more on your car insurance. You don't know until it's finished. But when it's done, it's to the point. I see a mother hugging a baby, and she's looking at the baby, and they are in this bliss, and they're twisting and turning, and all they're talking about is cleanliness. They're in the space, and it's so clean, and when they're clean, it feels so free. And then they're like, Downy. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not technical. You don't even, something you're watching these ads, you're like, you don't even remember the camera shots on it. You don't remember that. You don't know. I'm probably just putting your attention to it. So the next time you watch a commercial, you would say, But for the most part, it's all about the psychology of capturing the image. It's not just the technical stuff. It's all psychology. When you watch a movie, people first watch a movie and they're drawn to this movie or they're drawn to that movie. It's what it does for you. And I'm telling you, you can have the same effect on people when they watch worship that you are capturing and streaming. You can control that because that's your job. God has given you the talent and He's helping, He's using you, right? And you need to understand that. So one other thing that a lot of persons are not very familiar with is the concept of lighting. So while we have the cameras and the switches and everything, it's lighting is plays a big role in how your image will look. So, controlling what light is there. So probably turning on lights in the church. Sometimes I go in places and I turn off all the lights. It's not doing anything for the image. It's not helping the story. It's not helping the experience. Turn them on. And then we start turning back on and say, all right, let's keep that on. Keep that off. Turn it off. Okay, cool. All night have to be like, okay, And that's one of the things that I don't think that our churches have done is pay attention to the aesthetics of the worship. I don't see why, it should, like, for example, the pulpit, I would not light the pulpit as bright as most people do. I want it to be bright, but I want it to be bright on who's presenting. I wouldn't want to see Pastor Bright and then, Charles Harris is in the background or, Talisha is in the back sitting, waiting to do their part. And they're lit the same way. These are things you pay attention to. Next time you watch some of them stuff, pay attention and you will see them. Things that you like, oh, I couldn't get my thing to look like that. It's camera and how you light it. And also, as I said, be deliberate with what you want to capture. So I know that one of the things I would want to say is, have to look at integrating lighting into the service and see how best you can create wonderful lighting to go with what you're capturing. Because I'm sure that after we talk about this, everybody ever turn up and make sure they turn up the game and get the image that they want to see. Watch. One of the things, the first thing I learned years ago was, if you want to learn about TV, you probably need to watch more. You want to TV shows, you have to watch more. Truth is, there's philosophy behind creating images in our spirit. And this also goes for photography, because videography, cinematography, they're both, they're like children of photography. Before any other motion pictures, there's photography. And when you're taking photos, it's not just, let's just take photos to get away. So how about taking, if I can get 20 solid shots instead of 100 shots of a day, if I get 20 shots, I can say, yes, very beautiful day, as opposed to getting 150 shots of a service. I think that's less work for you. But then now you have to look at, again, I'm trying to get, it's cultural day at my church. What do I want to do? I don't need 200 pictures to show me what happened at cultural day. I don't. I could take 50 photos, I could do less, I could do 30 photos, and I'll show you exactly what happened throughout the day. If it started from Sabbath school, right down to AY. And then if we're having AY and we're having a social, I could probably do probably everything 50 photos instead of 200 photos. You're getting what I'm saying? Everybody understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm understanding.
Awesome. So I hope that we're almost at the time is just going. But I hope that I hope that what I'm saying is coming through to you and you're understanding what I'm saying. You know, so maybe for your church, you know, I think I'll probably have to look at more stuff that you're doing, and I know that, you know, Pastor reached out to me about you doing some small mentorship thing and some workshops to see how we can strengthen the visuals that I'll be able to. It's a very, very busy time, but I'll do my best to make the effort to make this happen, you know, because I know that one of the goals for your church is to have a strong presence online, understanding that your ministry, your media ministry is a critical ministry. It's very, very critical. But outside of the evangelism, all of that, you are central to everything that's happening, and you have to be deliberate. You understand? So, there's a lot of stuff that we could go through, but I think the main thing I want you to walk away with is you have to be deliberate to what you want to capture. While we have all the cameras and all the latest gadgets, that's the easy part. Everything is affordable, it's easy. What's important is that you have to see yourself as the person delivering. Think of yourself like the person who's singing. They're there to help the church through worship and through praise session, so that their spirit can be lifted. Your job is to make sure that that lifted spirit experience is not only happening for the persons in church, it's happening for the persons or wherever they are. Somebody might work at a hospital and they need a break and they're like, let me tune into church a little bit. Let them tune into church and feel like, yes, like, whoa, it's just an experience. Yeah. All right. Yeah, this is a short time for us to be doing all of this. But let me take some questions. I don't know if anybody have any questions or anything they want to say. Here, can you open up the mic, open the camera. I want to see who's talking to me, so I'll open the camera so I can see who is talking to me. All right. So you can go ahead.
Go ahead, brethren. Those of you who have questions, you can raise your hand or open your mic and ask those questions. If there are persons on Facebook and YouTube who have questions, we can take them as well. And if you're so inclined, you could write them in the chat and we will have those.
Yeah, if you want to write it in the chat, that's also fine. Any question you have or anything. Who are the persons here who are associated directly with the media? What's the department called? Media ministry?
Yeah, we're calling it media ministry, yes.
Okay. Anybody here who's a part of that direct part of that?
What is happening primarily is that we are, well, I know that Susan works in that, helps with that. Elder Harris normally helps in that. I don't know if Sian is here, but we are just recruiting some individuals to be trained. So that's why we are having this engagement,
right?
To fill out that department and to buttress it.
Okay.
Well,
yeah, understood.
yes.
Yeah. Well, this is that you know, that's good, because you know it's important that we understand, you know, you understand, each person understand their role in creating the images, you know, that's required. And it's something that, you know, it's ingrained in me from a long time. I think one of the most recently, just before COVID, I did some directing for FIFA as well. I had to travel project. I did directed some football matches for FIFA. So, and these are the things that, each person will get us strong. Like, as a director, I want to find strong persons who are going to operate a camera, and I know that they are looking, so I don't even have to tell them what to do. I'm looking at the shot and they're like, once I see the shot, I'm like, oh, they find the shot, and we communicate. And we have to get into that knowing that the media ministry is not just, it's a service, it's the service to worship, it's the service to experience. It's not just, okay, I'll turn on the camera and point it up here. When we finish, I'll move the camera quick to the left, or move the camera quick to the right. Yeah, these are the things that I'm very passionate about seeing persons doing for church. It's not a common thing, and we have to move the needle where that's concerned to make it better. Yeah, I thought I'd see some questions or some.
May I ask this question as it relates to the positioning of the camera? For some churches, the cameras are anchored to the wall. So in our case, we have two cameras. One is anchored as a side view and one as a front view. I don't know the technical terms for these cameras and the resolutions, so to speak. How could we manipulate those to get a better production? How many cameras we need? How do we go about that?
Your church, I think the church, the size of the church, I don't know the dimensions of your church, but I realize that if the camera is up to the back and it's probably a bit up, but I would definitely leave that camera down and take it down off the sound tripod. It's a PTZ camera. It's one of those, is it a robotic camera, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. If I may interject faster. This is Brother Harris. Yeah. So the cameras are like, one of them is close by the sanctuary. I could actually show you with this tablet that I have here.
Right.
I'll show you exactly where they are. Right. So can you see?
Right. I think I'm seeing
on the wall.
Yeah. I think I'm seeing that. Okay, yeah, I see that camera. Right. Okay, yeah. So for me, yeah, okay. And one in the back, okay, yeah. Yes. I was saying, I like PTZ too. They're effective for what they're for, but I am not. If you when you position them properly, you can get some stuff. But I like the human element of capturing. You can use it for the PTZs as well, the set up shots, and do them really good. But I'd probably carry them lower. So the cameras they're high. We normally raise cameras at high when we're shooting sports. Put them up high because they need a high view to capture what's going on. Say if it's football, which is what one of the sports that I've shot, and some athletics, we normally have the cameras really high up, pointing down. But outside of that, for worship, I need to have that high view.
High view, okay.
I need to have that high view. If I put a camera that high in the back, I keep a camera high in the back, and that's just to show everything. So if I can show from the podium right back to the back, or even 3/4 of the congregation, a wide shot to show everything that's happening, perfect. But that wouldn't be my main camera to show what's happening at the podium. That I would need a camera. I'd put a camera somewhere closer, or even if it's at the back and I have a lens that can carry me right to the podium, then that would be good. But I need to make space, move the camera forward, in, because that's a thing. Persons do this where they have platforms that you put the camera on and somebody operates it. It's something that you do to make it more. It feels real. It feels nice.
So beside those two cameras, do you suggest that we if we can get two portable, movable?
Yes, I would definitely put two cameras that persons can operate in the mix as well. And you're using what type of switch are you using?
Say that again?
No, yeah, man. I'm asking what type of switcher are you currently using?
Oh, Black Magic.
Okay, I figured more or less that's Black Magic. One of the which of them?
Yeah, I didn't hear you clearly.
No matter. Yes, I was asking which of the Black Magic switcher are you using?
Oh, actually, we have two of them. I don't know the model, but it's like the smaller version because CN is the one that operates them.
Okay.
There's a small version that has like maybe 16 buttons, right? And then the larger one that has maybe about 32, little less.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to figure out if the one with the screen or without the screen. If it's the smaller ones, and the work with a few of them, so But having 4 cameras in, I think 4 cameras is enough to capture what you want to get in church. The outside of cameras, the only other thing I probably recommend is getting some lighting in the church.
Yeah.
To fill out the front, especially, and then probably get some. With all these LED technologies, it's not so expensive. It's still cost, but it's not as expensive. Because the image that you're trying to get, it's lighting. It's hardly ever camera. It's normally like, I'll say the person is like 70% lighting. Cameras are just there to capture what's there. Camera is not going to change it. If there's no light, the camera can't capture it. Whatever is there is what it captures. If you use a light and create a feel for the space, then that's what you capture. You understand?
So as you could see, what you're seeing right now, where I'm standing, that's the lighting that we have.
Right. That's so
that we get more light.
I would say get more lights. Put them, so you put brackets in the walls, or you get high enough stands to light that front space.
Can I ask a question about lighting?
Sure, no problem.
With looking from viewing on Zoom, yes, the lighting is pretty low. It's not bright enough, like when someone's up there. So would it have to be like permanent lights, or what about like spotlights and stuff like that?
No, you can use there's source scores or parkans. And with LEDs, I said there's a lot of LED tech coming out now with source score and parkans that the cost is lower, electricity price is lower. If you need to put them on stands, you can take them down, and that's
right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Right, but you just need to get them high up enough so they're not spilling on the background, because that's also a thing,
Okay.
So because sometimes if I have to light something in a space, like we show up at an arena, we can't necessarily, or a big conference space or an auditorium, I can't necessarily put lights in the ceiling. I can't leave it up there because I might not have the grid up there to put the lights. So I have to get because that I can put stuff on, and a light at the side lighting, and then focus the lights however we can. If you need to put them on a deal,
I was thinking the spotlights because just in case we may have a program that we may not use the sanctuary,
right?
It might be just in a room that we can move it in order to get better lighting. Yeah,
that's fine.
That was my thoughts. Yeah,
right. So it's just a matter of getting the lights and then getting a stand high enough that we can get them so it don't spill on the back, and then we get into focusing the lights. Point what if we're using 6 lights, instead we're using 3 on the left and 3 on the right, and then we focus 2 on the podium, and then we have plants at the front. We use 2 on this focus there, and just make it really nice.
Yeah.
And then we figure out a way to get some lighting in the back as well for the persons. You don't have persons sitting on the floor. They just sit on the front and then they walk up.
Yes. At this moment, no, we don't have anyone sitting.
Okay. Yeah, and I realize that sometimes that's kind of watching it. And they'll post some of the services sometimes. I realize that there's a shot at the side with the musicians. Could probably just set up a small lighting thing over there as well. So whenever you put the light over there, you get that as well. Yeah. So the thing is, there's ways to lift it because you already have the tech, and you're in New York. You're near to the places that sell all these great stuff. So it's just a matter of figuring out what would be the best lighting units to use, one, based on the distance of where you put the light from the stage, and also cameras. You can look at cameras and say, get 2 cameras and get 2 tripods and just get persons up to speed, and probably consider lights also that we can put on a dimmer board. So if you want to dim the lights a little bit or push the intensity, you can do that as well.
Thank you.
Right. So, and I'll be talking back and forth with, I guess, with Charles here and you, Susan, and Pastor. We can we can make this happen to lift it. It's important that turn on the camera, and trust me, this will change your whole worship experience. I promise you. All right. So, anybody else have any questions or anything they want to say? And then also consider this: if we put with the lighting in, apart from the video cameras, your photographer won't have to use a flash. One of the things for me, I don't know if photographer use a flash there, but one of the things for me is once you start introducing a flash, especially a direct flash, it destroys the image. So the flash destroys the image totally. So you have a nice lit stage, and then you put the flash on it, and it just blows out everything. You're like, so about a nice lit stage. We have some lights turned on the congregants, and they put the flash on, don't stand there, and then it just blows out everything. You're like, yeah, but I got the sister in a moment to put the flash on it, then you lost the moment, So you're putting in the lights and you get the cameras, and I don't expect you to get everything overnight, but it's a violation incrementally. You see everything there. And then we can also look at how you the graphics on screen and all of that. So persons can keep it nice. That's it. I like this. Just keep it nice. Yeah. Yes, so I don't know. I'll see if anybody has asked any question or any questions or anything. So I guess everybody is on board and everybody understood what we said.
Okay. All right. Anyone has any question you want to share or any comment? If not, we will. Ella Harris, do you have a question?
Well, I just went to check the Black Magics. It's ATM Mini and ATM Extension ISO.
Oh, the ATM Mini was the first generation. The extension ATM ISO is the second generation of that switcher. That's the one where you can save individual camera streams coming. So apart from the program that goes out to everybody, you can store. I think you can save all the cameras. So if you just need to capture one camera just for safety, you can record that camera separately as well.
So it can manage more than 4 cameras, but
right. Yeah, man, it's both of them. Good stuff. So I tell you, I know you have the equipment. That's not going to be a problem. The problem is just refining the look. That's it, just refining.
Okay.
So, as I said, although it's a busy time, I get the vision and I understand what you want to do, and I realize that you're receptive to making things, to elevating the level of the worship experience online, the online worship experience. I'll make myself available that a few times, and provide you with as much assistance as I can from here, and also have somebody probably come in physically until I can actually make it there and see what it's like.
I know that those televangelists are way ahead of us, but that's where we want to even get deep on that. And that's why the Holy Spirit and all the inspiration and the vision that you can help us to, channel through, that would be great.
I know. That's exactly what I want. I know you've seen these Evangelist, and I know you've seen it, and that's exactly where I know you want to be. Will do my best and my best to help you to move into that direction. I'm very thankful that thanks for your interaction. Thanks, Pastor, for inviting me.
Yeah, we are excited about you joining and giving us this information. It's very vital.
Yes.
Somebody just asked a question.
Yes. Just a question. What would have been the issue with the camera when the person looks out a bit blurry? Features the person is not clear. And normally, that's a more technical question. that's a focus issue. So if you're not seeing the person clearly, that means the focus is off. Then that's easy to fix. It's easy to fix. If you're talking about, I don't know, it's either a focus issue or I don't know if you're watching from home and then everything goes blurry at once, and that's an issue with your streaming. Probably your streaming rate just dropped for a moment. And what your streaming company does is that once you're streaming, if the bit rate falls, instead of cutting off everybody, it cuts everybody's quality until it comes back up. That's what happens. So if it's a bit rate, things a bit rating. But if it's it's a blurry image, then that means it's a camera thing. It's not necessarily an issue with the camera, it's just you focusing. Or you watch on Zoom. It could be one or two things. I don't know if person's watching on because all these streaming software they operate the same. It could be it's just probably easy, but the camera needs to be focused. But if you're the only person having that problem, then probably it was a bit rate. It could be a bit rate issue. Yeah. So but so that's my answer to that question. So from Morgan Blake. Right. I hope I answer your question. Then probably if you don't have that issue when you're watching other programs, then probably the camera is this a thing that happens all the time? And does anybody else have this issue?
Yeah, it's the same issue that we're trying to work on regarding the cameras and where they are situated, and the fact that we do not have additional camera. The stationary camera that you're talking about to provide the proper zoom in, and so our technician has been doing his very best to produce quality, but because of the situation with the camera and the fact that there are not very many, which we are trying to fix. Yeah.
All right, so the camera is probably adding a zoom, yeah. Because, in order to get into it, and the persons who want to be a camera operator, as we get into it and talk about how the camera works, then you know why zoom might be off. Because length in relation to zoom. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. But if that's what you want to do, then you have that discussion with the persons who want to be a part of that. Those places who are interested in that.
Okay, so what quality of camera, video camera, would you recommend? I mean, you don't have to just give it now. You can even send it by email.
Yeah, I'm going to based on what you showed me a while ago, and we'll talk again. But even after this, I'll look at some options, and I'll put it together in a document and send to you so you can look at it. Send the person, you can share it with everybody, so you can see exactly what. And I'll also put links to it so you know where to get it. Okay. Right. And that's for lights and camera and whatever else I think you may need. I can do it in I'll say getting everything at once may be a little bit daunting, so you do it in phases, All
right, very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or viewing was not so clear and then judge. Okay, yeah. I think I remember the technical problems. Yeah, because I don't know the cameras and this possibility. And it could be the cameras. I don't know what cameras you have. I'd probably, if you send me a link to the camera that you have, the cameras that you use currently, I could probably answer this question a little better. The system ready. I'll be able to answer your question a little better once I know what cameras you're using. You know? But what we're trying to do is make sure that you have additional cameras that you can rely on to get the best quality that you can, and also to get lighting so that the quality that you'll probably see when you're looking at our program, you'll also have that for your church. All right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Beautiful. I don't know if anyone else have any questions. But I know that this has been a very good wealth of information, Brother Kelly.
Yes.
You did great, and we will be hearing from you again. We're thankful that you had came to join and to share these information with us, and we're looking forward for great things to happen.
I'm looking forward to that as well. So we'll definitely be in touch. Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kelly. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for depositing in us and in our church, in our Dunamite family, the gifts that God has placed in you. And of course, the insights were great. In fact, I've learned so much in this sitting that I will remember as we go forward to build the quality of our program and the quality of our streaming. So thank you again. Bless you, and I appreciate the fact that you will be available to provide some mentorship to those wonderful people online. In fact, some of the persons who we have recruited are online. One of them I know two of them have asked some pertinent questions, and I'm just excited to know that they asked the questions.
Yes.
And I feel encouraged to hear them speak, and so we bless God for that. Excellent. Thank you so much. And so for those of you who have joined us today, some of you are in the diaspora of the Dunamis family. You're on different campuses. I want you to know that we are happy that you have come. Notice I said different campuses. So if you're anywhere in the world you're part of this family. And we welcome you and we thank you for having joined us today. Those on YouTube who have joined us and those on Facebook, we thank you for your time and for being in this sitting with us today. Next week, we'll be having the final part of this Evangelism in a New Era session in this month with Janelle Salmon. She'll be teaching us about how to use Facebook, YouTube to build our quality and our online audience. All right. So we thank you so much for joining us. Remember, if you need anything from our church, those of you who are watching, whatever you need counseling, you need something that we provide, we are here. We are a community church, and we want you to know that we are appreciative of your time and your support, whether you are here by viewing or you have sent gifts to us to build our church or to support our ministries. We thank you so much for that. Until next time, when we will have a glorious time in the Lord here next week at this time at 3:30, and on Sabbath next at 11, when we'll have our Fixing Focus series continuing. See you next time. God bless you. Have a great afternoon.
And also please like, share, and subscribe. And you leave from the Zoom, go over to our YouTube, look for Dunamis SDA live, and like, share, and subscribe.
Awesome. Ella got it. All right. God bless you, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
God bless you too, Pastor. Bye.
You. God bless.